Okay, so let's begin our class today. A little bit of late start, but all that talk about France and yoga in Bordeaux was worthwhile. Okay, so now let's begin with our slow flow, starting with the Adho Mukha Virasana. Sitting back on your heels with the toes touching, big toes touching, bring the bolster between your knees. And as you lengthen forward, lengthen from the pubic plate to the breastplate, making the frontal spine long, and have the bolster in close enough that the thoracic diaphragm is going to rest on the bolster. And just come into a resting pose to begin with. Resting pose means arms are down. And let the shoulders go. You can have your head turned to one side. Just take a deep inhalation, a deep exhalation, and let go. Let go of tension in the body. Allow yourself to be received completely by your underlying support. Let gravity have you. Let's make an imprint, a samskara of this internally, the comfort in this pose. This pose with the torso prone like this gives the greatest exchange of oxygen in the lungs. So the blood becomes highly oxygenated in this way. And it's very good for circulation. And this reflects in your breath, your mind, your physical state. Now extend out through the arms. And when you do this, turn your forehead to the bolster. Place your forehead on the bolster. I'm going to keep my head up so you can hear me talk. And then stretch out through the arms. Dig the heel of the hands into the mat and push the mat away. And as you do this, extend the spine and the buttocks toward the heels. And then spread the fingers and place the base of the thumb, the base of the index finger down first. Maintain the pressure here as you take the other fingers lightly down. And then look up for a moment now. Move in from the shoulder blades, collarbones forward. And now maintain the hands where they are. Turn the toes under and push up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog pose. Taking your head to rest on the bolster, if it can come there. If you're not able to bring your head all the way to the bolster, then just let it hang. Draw it down through the heel of the hands again. And as you do so, lengthen all the way to the outer corners of the hips. Spin the thighs in and drive your heels down toward the earth. Even if the heels don't come all the way down, the action is in this direction. Eyes soft, breath soft, maintaining that peaceful state achieved in the child's pose, Adho Mukha Virasana. Now lock your shoulders against the rib cage as you lift your heels up off the ground. Lift the sit bones toward the ceiling, sharpen the sit bones. Bend your knees slightly. And as you bend your knees, scoop your front groins toward the back groins. And then lift the top 2 inches below the sit bones as you straighten your legs and extend the heels down again. And you may feel that your heels have moved slightly farther back now. Soles of the feet have lengthened slightly. The extension in the spine is increased. Go on that inner check, that inner inventory, Shwadhyaya, self-study. And with your next exhalation, swing your hips forward. Lift your head, swing your hips forward, and bring your pelvic rim to the bolster. Go on pressing down through the palms, lengthen up through the inner arms. And even with the hips resting, Lift the inner thighs, lift the inner knees. Turn the arms from the inside out and lift the chest. Bring the back armpit chest to the front armpit chest. Inner elbows forward. Eyes soft, breath soft. Now, if somebody hyperextends at the elbow joint, better to keep the elbows facing each other. The inner elbow facing each other. And now you can flip onto the tops of the toes. Press down through the tops of the toes, or if you keep the toes turned under, press down through the bottoms of the toes, either way, and use this action to lift the sternum bone from the bottom to the top. Eyes soft, breath soft. Maintain that sattvic thread, that mind state. We'll be here for a few more breaths. And turn the toes under. Exhale. And as you push back, take the navel toward the spine. Become very light in the solar plexus. Coming back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a full inhalation, exhalation breath. And then look forward with knees bent, either step or jump your feet to Uttanasana, standing forward bend. From here, palms are on the mat. If your hands don't come to the mat, use the yoga bricks. Drive down through the heels and swing the hips slightly forward so that the legs are perfectly straight and aligned with the hips to the ankles. And then lengthen from the frontal spine, from the pubic plate to the breastplate. Let your head hang like a ripe fruit. Famous Gita Iyengar line. Oh, take a nice exhalation breath, let loose. And then look forward, lift your head. Bring your arms back, pin the shoulders back, and with a straight spine, inhale all the way up. And now you can remove your bolster and have a yoga belt. And sit with your legs crossed in swastikasana, which literally means a cross. We also call it sukhasana, simple pose. And observe the artwork going on behind me. You just watch that over the next week, that is going to really transform. I've hired a mural artist to do a big mandala for me using my lotus. Okay, sitting tall, shoulders back. Have your left shin on the outside, right shin inside. And bring your feet underneath your knees. Now sharpen the outer edge of your feet and lift from the base of the spine. Feel the connection between these movements. As you sharpen the outer edge of the feet, the spine moves in and up. When you come roll onto the tops of the feet, you can feel the lumbar soften and roll back a little bit. When we sharpen, we can use that action to move in from that very base of the spine, make that connection. And then inhale, reach up through the arms. As you reach up through the arms, keep the thigh bones descending. And with an exhalation breath, turn to your right. With the hand against the outer knee, push against the knee and turn from the navel. Inhale, lift up through the frontal spine. Exhale, turn more. Inhale, lift up from the collarbones. Exhale, turn from the rib cage. With each inhalation breath, become taller. With each exhalation breath, climb up the spine as you turn. Turn from the armpit chest. Turn from the collarbones. Skin of the back relaxes down toward the back waist. Back body is soft. Front body is engaged, active. Align the crown of the head with the perineum of the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn from the navel again. Now this time, as you push your hand against the knee, lock that left scapula, the left shoulder blade against the rib cage, dig it in and let it turn you like a hand. Take the collarbones perpendicular to the camera, and then turn and look behind you. Let the head follow last. Watch if you've allowed the knees to come up, keep the knees descending. Be here for a few breaths. And then exhale and release, turning back toward the front. And remember, the greatest amount of rotation is in the neck. Change the cross of your legs. That if we lead with the head, we get an inaccurate sense of how much we're turning. So that's a delusion. Bhranti darshana. It's one of the obstacles. So we want to turn the head last. Inhale, lift up, become tall in the spine, light in the thoracic diaphragm. Sharp exhalation, turn. The greatest amount of movement comes with the first rotation. Push the hand against the knee. Exhale, turn from the navel. Deep twisting action. We massage the organs, the organic body with these twists. Inhale, lift up through the frontal spine. Exhale, turn from the rib cage. With each inhalation breath, become taller. With each exhalation breath, turn more. Turn from the armpit chest, turn from the collarbones. Inhale, lift from the crown of the head. And now we're going back to the abdomen. Exhale, turn again from the navel. Move in from that right kidney and turn the navel from right to left. Now pushing the hand against the outer knee, lock the right shoulder blade against the rib cage, dig it in, exhale and turn again. Turning from the shoulders, turning the chest from right to left. Having reached your maximum, now turn your head to look behind you. Be here for a few breaths. And release, turning back toward the front. Now extend out the legs and we're coming into Upavista Konasana, wide angle pose. And have an open belt. And you may know if you don't need the belt, you don't need to have it. Otherwise, have the belt if you know you need it or if you don't know. We're going to come into Parshva Upavista Konasana first. Parshva being the side or torso. Parshva, we lengthen the side of the torso as we come into this pose. And the twist we just did is going to help us in this action. By twisting, we brought life into the torso. So now turning toward the right leg, going extending out through both heels. Kneecaps are firm, and as you turn toward the right leg, again, getting that twisting action, turning from the navel. Moving in from that left kidney and turning the abdomen from left to right. You can have your hands into the mat and push against the mat, dig in with the fingertips, and use that action to turn you more. Then reach up with the left arm, and with an exhalation breath, reach for your foot. If you're not able to take the foot, use the belt. Now bring your right hand forward to the outside of your foot And you're going to push the mat away from you and turn from the navel. Feel how that lets you turn deep from the abdominal region even more as you push the mat away. And go on turning, moving in from that left kidney, turning the abdomen from left to right, very deep action. Maintain this, bringing your right hand to your foot or using the belt. Now, first we're going to do a back bend action with straight elbows. Move in from the kidney band and lift the frontal spine all the way from the pubic plate to the breastplate to the collarbones. Lift the sternum from the bottom to the top. At the same time, shoulders are down. Don't bring the shoulders up with you. Shoulders are down. Skin of the back body moves toward the back waist. Eyes soft, breath soft. As you begin to fold forward, you can bend the elbows and bring the left side of your torso forward first. The left side moves more slowly. It's important that we reach with the left side and get this left side turning and coming down toward the mat even faster than the right. You can reach out through that left arm, see if this gives you any more movement. And then hands holding the feet, the foot, or the belt. Depending on where you're working with this pose, you may be up here. And that's a fine place to work. Just go on working with the twist. Watch that you don't become a rounded back. We don't want to have a rounded back. We want to have an open chest in this pose. The elbows move out, and anyone who can come all the way down, go on extending out through the heels as you lengthen your frontal spine over your leg. And here, if it's available to you, you can turn your left hand, palm out, and then catch your left wrist with your right hand. Those of you who can take your head all the way to your shin, first we take the chin to the shin. This moves the spine in even more. You can feel that connection, whatever you're doing. Move forward with your chin right now and feel the kidney band move in as you do this. It's like there's strings attached to your kidneys, to your chin. As you take the chin forward, you can feel the kidneys move in as well. And then having done this, take the forehead down. Because the chin forward is more stimulating, forehead down is more peaceful. Someone else wants in. There we go. And then from here, after a few breaths, press down firmly through the thigh bones, inhale back up. And if you're using the belt, take it to the other side. Reestablish the legs and take your hands to the inner thighs. Just use them to help spread and lengthen the inner thighs toward the inner heels, getting length in the groins. Sitting tall on the sit bones. If you're rolling backward, you need to sit on the height of a blanket, or 2 or 3, whatever you need to be able to sit tall in Upavista Konasana. Sitting tall means the spine is moving in and up. And then from here, going to turn toward your left. Go on extending out through both heels. Inhale, lift up through the frontal spine. Exhale and turn. Turning the navel now from right to left. Move in from that right kidney band. You can actually take your thumb and dig it into that kidney band region and then slide your hand around, turning the navel from right to left as you go. Get that action. And reaching up with the right arm, exhale and swing that hand forward, catch hold of your foot or catch hold of the belt. Left hand can come to the outside of your leg now and use it to push the mat away and get a deep twist in the level of the abdomen. The abdomen is moving from right to left, right shoulder, right side wall, the torso is coming forward. Getting length in both sides of the torso as we turn into this action. Bring both hands to your foot or use the belt, whichever you have available to use. And either holding the foot or the belt. First, let's do a back bend action, lifting the chest, lifting the collarbones, and lengthen all the way from the pubic plate to the breastplate, collarbones broad. Move in from the kidney band. Lift the chin and get that action of moving in from the kidney band. Shoulder blades locked against the rib cage, making a concave upper back. And this may be where some of you are working with this pose. Those of you who have the flexibility in the hips and the hamstrings can come more forward, bringing the right side of your torso faster this time. You can reach up through that right arm, get length in the right side, and bring the right side of the torso down. Go on, bending the elbows wide, keeping the collarbones wide. And as you lengthen the frontal spine, shoulders descending, shoulders toward the back waist. And if you're taking your head all the way down, it's first chin to shin, and then forehead. Now, if you want to do the hand clasp, reach the right hand away, palm out, catch hold of the wrist with your left hand, and then see how you can use that to help turn the foot from the inside out as well. So the foot will turn from the medial side to the lateral side, which is a nice action. We're going to extend up to the inner foot even more and bring the right side of the torso forward even more as you bring your head down. Elbows still lifted. Eyes soft, breath soft. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel the skin of the back body move down toward the back waist, soft and peaceful, and the frontal body lengthening forward. And then cut down through both thighs, inhale, back up. And come to Dandasana, the staff pose, sitting in Dandasana. We're in Dandasana, the outer corners of the hips descend, the thigh bones descend, extending out through the heels. And now take a belt, place the belt around your feet and just cross it over your feet. So I just crossed it here. I used to be able to make you all move around the room and look at me. Now I have to move around the room so you can all see me. Okay. Now, if you need to sit on height, take it. All right. So that the spine needs to be moving in and up. The skin of the buttocks lifts toward the back waist. And there's a little tension here. And there's a degree of a lumbar curve remains here. If your lumbar is moving back into your hand and not away from it, that lumbar lifts away from the heel of your hand, you don't need height. If your lumbar is moving toward the heel of your hand, you need to add height. Okay, you want to have a straight spine. We're going into a forward bend with this. So those of you who need height, if you don't take it, you're going to be really wishing you had. Okay, now just let go of the belt, and with your left arm, reach up and reach way to the outside of your right foot. And come back and do that again. Reach up and reach way to the outside of your right foot. And go on extending out through the inner edges of the feet. Turn your hand around and with the palm of your hand facing your foot, catch hold of the bottom of your feet. And if you can't do that, get hold of the end of the belt that's on the opposite side. Get hold of that end of the belt. Okay, so you're holding on to that part of the foot. And now with your right hand, use that hand to help rock you a little bit and bring you forward any amount. Get nice and compact into this pose. And then reaching up with your right hand, go on turning toward the ceiling. Push your elbow against the outer leg and turn and catch hold of the other side of your foot. Or now we're holding the belt. You might be holding the belt here, the opposite sides of the belt. Okay. You can catch hold of the foot, catch hold. And if you're not able to get your elbow against the outer leg, then you may want something like a yoga block to push against. Okay. So you get a little bit more height there from that yoga brick. Okay, you're either holding on with your hands or holding on to the belt. And now you're going to use your arms and turn and look between your elbows. Turning toward the right. Go on lengthening the crown of the head toward the big toes. Exhale and turn more, turning the navel. Move in from the left kidney band. Exhale and go on turning. Lift your right elbow higher and look through the window between your arms. That's it, Trudy, good. You're reaching your foot, you got it. Okay, nice, Susan. And then exhale, release, come on back up. We're just doing a touch and go with that today. We'll do the second side. I know, right? Have I ever had to do that before? I had a whim. It's been a while. Okay, now the second side. Reach up with your right arm and exhale, go way beyond the foot. Now you know what we're doing. So we want to get nice parshvas, nice parshva action in the sides of the torso. Come up, exhale again, go. And now you're going to turn your hand toward your foot. If you can get the elbow, I'm actually going to roll and get my elbow to the outside of the shin. Little trick. I can push this arm against the shin and help me with the twist. Then reach up and over with your left arm. So this is like Parshvakonasana arm. Catch hold of the outside of the foot. And now open your elbows away from each other and look through the window. Thigh bones descending, stand out through the heels. And as you descend the thigh bones, this helps release the spine and lengthen from the pubic bone to the collarbones. And release. And sit back up. Oh, good work. Trudy wants to do it more. She's not ready to quit. We're gonna go somewhere else with another pose, and then we may come back to this and see how it feels. Let's go with Parigasana, the gate latch pose. Come to kneeling, and now I have a very thick mat here. I don't really need a blanket, but I'll put it down just so you know that you may well want a blanket for this. Make the blanket smooth. And I've got the blanket lined up with the front edge of my mat. I'm going to kneel close to the front edge of the blanket. Okay. We'll take this pose in a couple of steps. Now from here, press down through the shin bones, extend the feet straight back, And lift from the groins to the navel. Create space in the groin area. Do this by plugging in the tailbone, not clenching the buttocks, just the tailbone scoops down and forward. From here, take your right leg out. And if it's hard for anybody to be on their knees, you can add more support under this knee, even a bolster. I'm aligning the inner edge of my foot with the blanket, and I have that aligned with the mat so I can just see it and use that alignment. Now from here, this is a lot like a Trikonasana, triangle pose action. Can feel that the pelvis wants to turn with the leg. You're going to press the hand against the inner knee to open up this area and turn the pelvis away from that leg. And now, having established this, stand down the back shin bone, reach up with the left arm, exhale and let your right hand slide down toward the floor as you extend your left arm across. As you do this, revolve your torso toward the ceiling. Revolve the torso toward the ceiling and look up through your raised arm. Keep the raised arm straight. Watch for the tendency to bend the elbow. Extend up through the inner arm. Also watch out for the tendency to lean. So Susan, you're leaning. You have to push off that foot and move your hip to the left. Move even more to the left. That's it. That's it. And then inhale, swing the raised arm up. And we'll do the second side. Now, if you noticed that the shin bone became light, that your foot started to wander, just sit back on the heels for a moment. Get those shin bones grounded into the earth and keep them moving down. Push them down as you come back up. And we'll go to the second side. We'll start here by lengthening the groin toward the knee, taking the knee back. Turning the torso away from that leg. And then reach up. Exhale, I'm turning my palm forward. Exhale, slide the hand down toward the mat as you extend across. You have to push into that left foot slightly to keep your hips from moving to the left. Go on extending up through the arm, press the arm against the knee, and revolve your torso toward the ceiling. Be here for a few breaths. Get that Parshva sensation in the side wall of the torso. And then inhale back up. And come back to kneeling. I'm going to do this with a straight leg this time. So you have a choice. You can stay with the bent leg or go with the straight leg. When we come back to the right this time, you can stay here or you can extend the leg out and take the foot down. Now, ideally the foot extends straight, but you may have to just turn your foot in slightly to get it down. That's okay. Knee is straight. Right hand palm up. Reach up through the left arm. So again, either bent leg or straight leg, your choice. Firm this knee. Exhale and reach across. Now slide the right hand down your shin bone as you extend across with the left and go on revolving your torso toward the ceiling. Both arms are straight. Now tucking the tailbone on the right side. Keep the right groin open and revolve, taking the right side of the chest toward the ceiling even more. Dig that right shoulder blade into the rib cage and turn from right to left. Eyes soft, breath soft. And then inhale, reach up with the raised arm. And we'll come to the second side. If you feel you need to sit back, get those shin bones really earthy again. And then come back up. And we'll go to the second side now, either bent leg or straight leg, you decide. which way you're going to do this, okay? When we go to the side, it is a lot like Trikonasana that this groin area starts to close off. So you have to cut in through the mid buttock of the straight leg side. Keep this area in and lifted. Bring the tailbone in even more on that side as we come into the pose. Watch that we don't collapse in that area in order to come deeper into the pose. Inhale, exhale, and go. Folding from the hip crease as you reach across and revolving the torso at the same time as you side bend into Parigasana. So this is meant to be like a key in an old-fashioned lock, a hairpin key. Now take the left side of the chest forward. Dig the left shoulder blade in to the rib cage. Left side of the chest comes forward and revolves toward the ceiling. Cut the left buttock in and open up the left groin. Exhale and fold any amount more while maintaining this. And then reach up, inhale, and come all the way up. And come back and sit on your heels, and we can remove the blanket if you took a blanket. We're going to do the pose we just did again, making the side walls of our torso longer and longer. If you need the blanket for sitting on, keep it. Otherwise, put it to one side. Sit in Dandasana. Use the belt if it was helpful. So here in Dandasana, I'm going to take my thigh flesh, turn it in, and draw it back. Spread it out. So I'm getting onto the bones, moving the flesh somewhat out of the way, getting onto the thigh bones, the sit bones. I can put the belt, if you're going to use the belt, put it around your feet and cross it if you found that helpful. And if you're not doing this pose, you can do a straight Paschimottanasana. Okay, so you can sit with your holding the belt, get a back bend with the upper back, and start to come forward. Otherwise, you're going to do this Parshva Paschimottanasana. Should I this Paritta Paschimottanasana? Okay. So now take your left arm, exhale, and reach across to the right. Turn the hand in and catch hold of the foot. Now, it makes a big difference if you can get the elbow against the leg. So I'm actually going to rock over this way and use that to get my elbow lower down against the outer edge of my foot and lock it there as I roll back. So that way I can use that action to start to turn. So I'm in my forward bend and I'm going to push the elbow against the leg and start to revolve. Parvrita, revolve toward the right. And then take my left hand by the ear and then extend it out. Catch hold of the other side of the foot or the belt. And now turn the elbows away from each other. Go on folding forward, pulling yourself forward with the belt or your hands on your feet. And then open the elbows away from each other and look through the window. Move in even more from that left kidney band and turn the abdomen from left to right. Lengthen from the pubic plate to the breastplate and spread the collarbones. And then turn back toward your feet. Exhale, release, come on back up. Oh, everybody's going to be feeling this area later. You'll be feeling all those muscles between the ribs, the intercostals, everything above and below. All right, last side. Bring your right hand up. With an exhale, swing it beyond your foot. Then turn the palm toward your foot and catch hold of the sole of your left foot. Now you're going to roll in that direction toward the left a bit and see if you can hook the elbow to the outside of the knee or shin, wherever you can get it. Otherwise, you can use a a brick like I showed before against the outer leg. And go on, use that action now to go on turning toward the left. Move in from the right kidney band, and as you move in from the kidney band, lift your chin slightly, get that action of lengthening the spine, digging the kidney in. And now bring your left hand along your ear, reach beyond the crown of your head, get length in the torso, and now catch the outside of your right foot and pull yourself forward. Come into a deep Paschimottanasana, turn the elbows away from each other and look through the window. Bring your chest all the way through the window. Eyes soft, breath soft. Roll the thighs in, extend out through the inner edges of the feet. And then release, turning back toward your feet and come on up. Let's do Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog, always feels so good after doing so much work in the torso. From hands and knees, hands are somewhat forward. Turn the toes under, exhale and come up. Then you can lift the heels, play with it a little bit, swing the hips slightly, bend the knees, take the front groins to the back groins, sharpen the sit bones toward the ceiling, extend the heels down. Just feel that tremendous length in the spine. So what Adho Mukha Svanasana is, it's spinal extension. So you press into the heel of the hands, hit the head of the thigh bones away, getting length in the frontal spine, length in the groins. Eyes soft, breath soft. And then look forward, walk toward your hands. Come into Uttanasana. You can have the feet hip width apart. This time in Uttanasana, place the palms of your hands inside the elbows and use the hands to extend the elbows downward toward the mat, getting length in the spine. So I'm even going to lift forward slightly, lengthening the frontal spine again, lengthening the side walls of the torso, and exhale and take my head down. Legs are poker straight, kneecaps firm. If you're not able to straighten your knees all the way, it's understood you need to bend them slightly so the hamstrings are not too screaming, as they call them, the screaming hamstrings. Then place your hands on your hips, pin your shoulders back, look forward. And as you come up, draw the buttock flesh down toward the back of the thighs, engaging that big gluteus maximus muscle as you come all the way up to Tadasana. And now we'll stand in Tadasana, have two bricks for some standing poses, the Konasanas. And standing forward of your bricks in Tadasana, spread the soles of the feet. Find the tripod of the feet, from the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel. Okay, so this is more refined. We start with the four corners of the feet, the big toe mound, little toe mound, inner and outer heel chips. But now we go more toward the big toe mound, little toe mound, and the inner heel region. Sharpen this area. Drive down through the heels, lift up through the crown of the head. Cut the outer calves, the outer hips in toward the midline. Spread the collarbones. We'll come into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Bring the arms up, inhaling, jump or step your feet 4 feet apart. Beginning in Utthita Hasta Padasana, align the outer edge of your feet with the outer edge of your mat. Extend out through the arms all the way to the fingertips. Become very light in the arms by lifting the inner elbows. The bottom arm lifts to the top. The inner thighs lift to the outer thighs. Everything is floated up. Turn the right leg out by turning the heel in a quarter turn and then pivot the leg out 90 degrees. Left heel turns out slightly. Level the hips. Inhale, exhale into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Place the brick so it's under your shoulder. Place your left hand on your hip for now. Front leg from the outer ankle, zip it up all the way to the hip socket. So the outer line of the leg is very strong. Back leg, inner thigh to outer thigh. Sharpening the outer edge of the back foot. And now roll the chest toward the ceiling. Right shoulder blade digs into the rib cage and turning the chest from right to left. Once you have that rotation, you can take the left arm up. Eyes soft, breath soft. As you reach up into the raised arm, use this to float the torso. So the brick that's under your right hand is only a spacer. You're not relying on it. And then cut down through the back heel, inhale, reach up with your raised hand, turn your feet parallel. Take a breath here. And then turning the left heel in a quarter turn, pivot the left thigh all the way out, 90 degrees out. Turn the right heel out slightly, extend out through the arms. Again, lifting from the pubic plate all the way up to the breastplate, bottom of the breastplate to the top, collarbone spreading, skin of the back body moves down, tailbone descending. Exhale into Utthita Trikonasana to your left. You can place your right hand on your hip now and bringing your attention to the front foot from the outer ankle, zip up all the way to the hip socket. So imagine the seam on the outside of your pants. And this line is going to zip all the way up into the hip. And feel how this opens up the groin as you do this and sharpens the inner edge of your left foot. Back leg, lift from the inner thigh to the outer thigh and sharpen the outer edge of the back foot. And now maintain this as you revolve your torso toward the ceiling. Dig in through the left shoulder blade and turn the left side of your chest toward the right. Look up toward the ceiling as you do so. Now, bring your attention to your buttock area for a moment and lengthen the left side of your tailbone toward your back heel. Lengthen the left side of the tailbone even more. And now reach up through your right arm. Eyes soft, breath soft. Take a moment here to consolidate your pose. Find the sthira sukham, the steadiness and ease. Once you've built this asana, it becomes a temple for your inner self, a place of rest. To come out, cut down through the back heel, inhale, reach all the way up. Turn your feet parallel. And step or jump to Tadasana. And be in Tadasana for a moment, be in mountain pose. Find the equanimity, the peace, the steadiness of the mountain. Also called Samastiti, standing in stillness. Eyes receding back into their sockets, as if gazing out from a great distance. Being with, but not a part of what you observe. A part of on one level, on a physical level, on an experiential level, but the part that is eternal knows that what it witnesses is temporary, transient. Uttita Parshva Konasana. Bring the hands up, and on an inhale, jump 4 feet apart. Turn your right leg out 90 degrees, left heel out slightly. This time you bend the front knee, you take your hand behind onto the brick that's behind you. So in the beginning, we can actually bring the brick in front, and that is another way to help open up the chest. So go ahead and bring your brick in front of your ankle. And the front shin is perpendicular to the floor. That's the beginning. And as you advance, you take the thigh parallel to the floor. So I'm just going to move my back foot out a little to get my thigh parallel. And now from here, push the elbow into the knee and revolve. Revolve the chest toward the ceiling. Now, as you do this, now on the right side, you're going to bring awareness to the sacrum and the tailbone, and you want to lengthen the right side of the tailbone toward the back heel. As you go on turning, now reach up through your left arm and extend it overhead. And get that beautiful extension from the outer edge of the back foot all the way to the fingertips of the left hand. Be here for a few breaths to consolidate this pose. Parshva Konasana. Parshva being side, Kona angle. And then push into the back foot. Inhale, reach up. Remove the brick, and we'll go to the second side. Now, often we have the brick behind the foot, and sometimes we put it in front. It gives a different effect in the groin and in the turning action. Sometimes I start with the brick in front, and then I move it around to the back. And we'll just do it with it in front today. Turning your left leg out, right foot turns in slightly, extend the arms apart. Now bending that front knee, you'll catch hold of the brick. You can either have it on the horizontal or the vertical height. It could be horizontal, it could be upright. Either way, shin perpendicular to the floor is the first action. Thigh parallel to the floor is the second action. And now from here, with your right hand still resting on your hip, now press the elbow against the inner knee and revolve, turn. As you do that, keep cutting the left buttock in. And the knee moves back. So it's like a lever. As the knee moves back, the buttock moves in. And now attention to the outer edge of the left side of your tailbone and lengthen that toward the back heel. Bring your right hand up. You can take it up toward the ceiling or alongside the ear, and then extend. And as you extend it through the arm, dig into the back heel. Get that length, that beautiful extension of the torso on this side. Eyes soft, breath soft. And then cut into the back heel, inhale, reach up. Be here for a couple of breaths. And actually bring your hands to your hips. If we lose touch with the breath and the poses become overly physical, we need to stay aware of our breath in this practice. Now we're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana. The forward bend, bringing the hands to the floor. If your hands don't come to the floor with straight legs, use the bricks. So here, straight legs, non-negotiable. Just have the bricks higher if you need to, whatever height you may need to have them on, even the seat of a chair. And beginning with a concave back, concave thoracic spine, collarbones forward, look forward on the floor, and then lift the inner thighs to the outer thighs, inner ankles to the outer ankles. Feel the sit bones spreading. Now this may be your final pose, or you can walk your hands back between your feet and take the crown of your head to the mat. And if your head doesn't come all the way down, you can use a brick. Keep the inner shoulders lifted. And pressing down through the palms, elbows stay shoulder width. So there's a little action there to keep the elbows in alignment. The elbows have to turn in toward each other slightly, otherwise they tend to wing out. Turn the elbows toward the midline, lift the inner shoulders away from the floor, inner thigh to outer thigh, inner ankle to outer ankle. And then find the sthira-sukham, the steadiness and ease in this pose, so that this is a sustainable posture for you. Be with your breath. Make this restorative. Eyes soft, breath soft, belly soft. And then walk your hands forward, coming to the concave back again. From here, you can bring your hands to your hips. You can heel toe your feet in a little bit while you're still here. Then bring your hands to your hips to come up. And just bring your feet together. And do you have two chairs? If we do chair Sarvangasana to Halasana today, or a chair and a bench. I'm going to set up your chair Sarvangasana. I don't put anything on the chair, but if you want to put something soft on your chair, you can. And you can use a second chair to take your legs to. But we're going to take not just our feet to the chair, we want to take the whole thigh to the chair. So that also requires, for most of us, another bolster. Okay, and see how close I bring it in. And I put another bolster on my chair seat. If you don't have a second bolster, you need a stack of blankets, or you can do without in a pinch, but it just gives you a little more height and more support to do it with additional height, if you've got it. So you could, if you have a bolster, one bolster, you could put the bolster here and make a stack of blankets shaped like a bolster for your shoulders. That's another alternative. Or sometimes Father Joe even just rolls yoga bricks in a blanket to take his shoulders on, which is like a little harder, but I mean, physically, it's quite resistant, but it's an option. And it looks like you guys have got it. All right. So let me just demonstrate first. I don't think we've done this for a while. I think I'm about the right distance here. I just need enough room here that when I go back, my head's going to go through there, swinging my feet up on the back of the chair and sliding through. And I'm just going to do a back bend and see, my head's just clearing out. I'm going to waterfall off the chair and come down, shoulders to the bolster. And move this back just a little bit. I have it a little too close. So I've got this crossbar in front too. Then bring my hands into the seat and straighten my legs. I'm just going to start here for now. Pinning the shoulders down, thighs spinning in, extending out through the heels. So I'll be here for a while. If you're not at a wall, you can bring the feet straight up to Viparita Karani legs. That's another option. Now, after we've been here for a little while, you can keep your hands where they are, bend your knees to bring them forward, slide your feet through the inside of the chair, and bring your thighs onto the bolster as far as you can come. And then we'll be here for a little while. And you can keep the hands inside the chair, or you could even decide to take them out. I'm going to adjust my bolster now that I've taken my hands out of the chair. I can rest with my hands here. Then eventually, you take your hands back to the chair that's behind you, the Sarvangasana chair, and then bend your knees and take your feet back to the chair. And now from here, see, I'm just hooking my heels around that chair and move this chair away. So you need room to move it away. And then I'm going to slide off. Okay, and I had just enough room to do that. All right, so go ahead. And if you don't have a second chair to do this with, or you don't want to do it today, don't use the bolster don't do the halasana legs if you're not set up for it. Just do the Sarvangasana. Okay, and once you're in Sarvangasana, the chair shoulder stand, you're going to stay there for a little while. Okay, so just come into that first stage, stay there. You can take your hands inside the chair. Once you've got your shoulders properly on the bolsters, neck is free, head is free. You bring your hands to the inside of the chair, and as you pull on the inside of the chair, maybe even the crossbar, palms up, and pin the outer shoulders down. And you either have your heels on a wall, or if you don't have a wall to take your heels to, you bring your feet up in the air in the Viparita Karani version. Spin the thighs in, stretch up through the inner legs. You just have to get the pelvis on the chair in just the right way so that it's comfortable. If it feels painful, then you need to shift in one direction or another. Trudy, we're not going yet. Stay in Sarvangasana. Good. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Okay, so be here for a few breaths. This is a restful pose. It's a calming pose. It works on the mind, on the breath in a very soothing way. It's a cooling pose. As in, some poses generate heat in the body, and they're very dynamic, heating poses. Sarvangasana is more of a cooling, soothing pose. It's considered restorative, especially when we do it in this way with the chair. Okay, so now you can begin to take your feet away from the wall, bend your knees. And as you bring your hips off of the chair, knees are bent, and bring your knees toward the bolster on the halasana chair. And then you can straighten your legs. Good. Okay. Then you can slide your feet through the chair back. See if you can get more of your legs on the chair. You may need to release your hands from the Sarvangasana chair and pull the Halasana chair in toward you a little bit more. If you're comfortable where you are, if you feel like you're going to lose your shoulders if you do that, then don't risk it. But keep the shoulders well on the bolster as you slide your legs onto the Halasana bolster. And this is considered one of the most supportive, restorative poses there is. You want to be in a position of ease and comfort. If this is uncomfortable for your neck, then bring your legs back to the Sarvangasana chair. And we use the bolster in order to create more space for the throat and the frontal spine in this pose. Let your body be supported by your bolsters. Of course, there's still action. The outer shoulders remain just active enough to stay pinned down. Side walls of the torso lift. Heads of the thigh bones lift. So the legs remain poker straight. The organic body is soft, passive. Eyes are passive. Brain is passive. We'll just be here for a few more breaths. And now with bent knees, slide off of the Halasana bolster. Bring your buttocks back toward the Sarvangasana chair. Keep holding the Sarvangasana chair until your hips are there and your feet are back on the Sarvangasana chair. Come back to Sarvangasana. That's it. Now hook your heels on the chair back, just so that you're stable and you can start to move the Halasana chair away from you. Just wiggle that chair arm's length away. And then you can slowly slide off of the Sarvangasana chair. Bring your feet to the chair back and just push off, release your hands. Come on down and rest with your hips on the bolster. You can take your feet through the chair. You can move the bolster and your hips a little bit away from the chair to give you a sense of spaciousness. And just be here for a few breaths now. And then draw in your knees. Turn to your right side, or if the left side is more accessible, and then come all the way out and set up for Shavasana. Have a blanket for your head. You could put a bolster on your thighs or under your knees. Weight on top of the thighs can assist with the Apana Vayu, let the legs get earthy and released from the pelvis. You can cover your eyes if you have something, if you wish. And then just arms extend a little away from your sides and let the shoulders be very heavy and drop away. With an exhalation breath, feel the femur bones release from the grip of the pelvis. Belly soft. Soles of the feet, palms of the hands, soft. With an exhalation breath, let loose everywhere. Let everything go. Become a witness to the gentle flow of prana. Observe how the practice has benefited the breath, the mind, body. And as the breath moves naturally through you, allow it to consolidate your practice. Coming to that state of union. View the breath as object and the self as subject. And if there's a natural space at the end of the exhalation breath, a natural pause there, allow yourself to dwell in that emptiness. This is where we find Samapati Byam, original form, the seer. It is the silence between the notes. Tongue recedes into the lower palate, throat soft. Eyes spread toward the outer corners. Ears fall away. When the practice works, we lose all interest in speaking, seeing, hearing, tasting. The sensory phenomena no longer pulls at us. Deepening your breath now, bringing your awareness slowly back to the surface. Moving wrists, ankles, fingers, toes. When you're ready, you can bend your knees, turn to your right side and rest there. And turning toward the floor, gently push yourself up to sitting. Stay with eyes lowered, stay internalized, making that samskara, that imprint of this state, and that the more frequently we are in this state, we're able to string them together. We'll chant the Om one time to close the practice. And coming to a comfortable seat, place the hands in Atmanjali Mudra, thumbs to the heart center, and lifting the heart center to greet the thumbs, shoulders back. Press all the palm pads, the finger pads, the thumb pads firmly together, and thumbs firm against the breastplate. And then lift the heart center to greet the thumbs. There's only bone, flesh between the thumbs and the abode of your Atman, your prayer hands. Take an exhalation breath and then inhaling. May the benefits of our practice be shared with others. Namaste.